Thank you, Judge Razia, Justice Mansour, Justice Aisha, Mr. Hayat Ali, and from UN Women, Mr. Lansana and Ms. Shamila Rasool, distinguished guests, justices. Thank you to FJA and to UN Women for inviting me, and congratulations to Dr. Samira Fatima, and her team for an excellent report. So answering your question, Madam Moderator, is we should look at violence against women from a rights framework. When we talk about a rights framework in human rights, we talk about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, CEDAW, but we have to remember the rights, the human rights entrenched in international human rights law is actually mirrored and reflected in the Constitution. So we're also talking about the Constitution. When talking about equality, it exists both in international human rights and under the Constitution. I just want to touch on equality, because the one thing that we can learn from international human rights on the question of equality, and I'm talking about this because Justice Mansour spoke about equality and equity, is that equality has been defined and deconstructed under international human rights law, under CEDAW. I had a picture, I'm not sure whether you can put it up.
I sent you the picture.
Now, equality under human rights, you have the formal equality, like giving the textbook to everyone, that's formal equality. Now, we have substantive equality, which is the gold standard of what equality is. Substantive equality talks about three kinds of equality. It talks about equality of access, equality of opportunity, and equality of outcome. And all three has to be there for equality to happen. Now, equality of access means that we have to provide, if you can put the picture, if not, I'll describe the picture.
Can you arrange that picture, please, which I just WhatsApp you?
Okay, so imagine this illustration where there is a wall and three people are, okay, here, all right?
On the main screen. Hamza, on the main show.
Yeah, okay. On the left is what we're talking about, formal equality. Each person is given a box or a textbook. Formal equality, we're done, finished. But no, that does not bring about equality because we are not playing on a level playing field. Substantive equality is the man obviously does not need a box. He can watch, he can see. Don't give him a box. The woman needs one box to be able to see, so give her a box. The child needs two boxes. Now, the result of this is you have equality in outcome. You gave them the opportunity, you gave them the access, and the equality in outcome is what we are looking for. Yeah? So, and in order to achieve that, human rights talks about special measures, fundamental liberties under the Constitution, talks about special protection. Yeah? Now, a lot of constitutions have this. It mirrors international human rights and equality. It contains the rights and freedoms. I don't think I need to go through the constitutional provisions, but what I need to emphasize is constitutional protection not only happens in the high courts and the Supreme Court. It happens every day in the district court and in the session courts. And if I may quote Fakir Hussain, which I'm sure you all know, he talks about constitutional rights are not upheld only by superior courts. The district and session courts play a critical role in enforcing constitutional safeguards. For example, protection of law. So every day, this is what you're doing. When you talk about violence against women, you are talking about constitutional rights. Now, the other issue we talk about when we talk about human rights is that it's against culture. Yeah? Human rights recognize that cultural diversity is an imperative, but what it doesn't allow anyone to do is use culture, invoke culture to infringe upon the rights of someone else. Yeah?
So, can I ask another question? What do you think are perceptual barriers to rape victims, survivors accessing justice, and what can judges do about these perceptual barriers?
Yeah. Yeah, when I first came here, I've heard so many criticism. Why are we talking about violence against women? Yeah? In fact, some go on to say it doesn't happen in Pakistan. Rape doesn't happen in Pakistan, yeah, because we're all good Muslims, yeah. Now rape happens everywhere, yeah, violence against women happens everywhere. Yeah? So the social perception, of course, is difficult to prove. And because it's difficult to prove, the consequence is women lie. Because you can't prove it. So it's false, it's fraudulent, it's even malicious. Yeah? And that to a large extent has been corrected by the judgments that we have seen, as well as by the establishment of the GPV court, which put in all the special protections. The other issue that fuels this is the issue of women resiling. Yeah? This is a specific issue that is very critical. Yeah? And why do women resile? And when they resile, there is a funny little cookie cutter, yeah, if I may call it, formula that is used, that there was a misunderstanding. Yeah? The misunderstanding has been resolved, it has been satisfied, and it has been taken before a reputable of the locality. Yeah? And when it happens again and again, surely something is wrong. Yeah? This is where judges need to scrutinize this. Now, the issue with resiling is because the issue that people think they can use qisas, right? They can pay diyat, and if you can do it for murder, why not for rape? Yeah. Well, not only is it prohibited, it's not allowed. There's no provision for diyat anywhere, yeah, under Islamic jurisprudence for sexual assault and rape. Right? Now, one of the issues is, of course, financial gains from compromises. What can we do about that? The courts, the law has already provided for reparation, and this is something that needs to be accessed more, reparation. Now, reparation is provided under both the Pakistan Penal Code as well as the Criminal Procedure Code. Yeah? You have under the PPC Section 53, Daman, which is part of punishment actually. Yeah? You can order it for compensation for expenses, loss, disability, for anguish. You also have under the Criminal Procedure Code, in the event of death, hurt, injury, mental anguish, psychological damage, property damage, the court can, for reasons recorded in writing, order payment of compensation. Yeah? To some extent, if you provide reparation, I think it will resolve this perception that women lie because the family has taken money or compromises. Reparation is the next step, I think, which we need to use, because punishing the perpetrator alone is not enough. We have to push forward the idea of how can the woman, how can the victim survivor rebuild her life? Yeah? And how can the court, how can you provide this, and in providing this, manage to change the social perception that women lie, yeah? Because it will reduce, hopefully, resilience.
Thank you so much, Ms. Zarizana.